What's happening, everybody? It is Sunday evening. I'm with two of my favorites, Brother Bob and Twin. We're going to be recapping this 49ers versus Bucks game. What a fun, stupid game that was. Give us 17 seconds. We'll be right back.
Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown! The 49ers have won the Super Bowl.
And now your host, Ryan Hensley.
Now your host, Ryan Hensley.
Well, what's happening, everybody? I'm sitting here chilling, wearing my bathrobe. Got my Linder hat on, so you know what my occupation is. And I'm with two of the best people on 49ers YouTube and on this earth, on the globe. Brother Bob, Twin Empire. How are you guys doing tonight? Bob, how are you, bud?
How are you, man? I'm happy we won. I feel good on a little bit. I mean, I wish it was better, but, hey, I'll take the dub. How about you?
I'm fantastic, man. Still some good things to talk about, some interesting things to talk about. We're going to dive into that. Twin, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, y'all already know how your boy doing, man. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. I can't complain. Our team came back, got a W today, but as always, they will leave us something to talk about. So let's get it cracking. You know what I'm talking about?
Let's do the thing, man. I gave away 10 memberships, 5 at a time. It just randomly selects people. I don't really know what you're going to do with that membership, but you got one, just so you know. Just so you know, you're in the club. Shout out to everybody that's here tonight in the chat. Looking forward to talking to this game. Fellas, let's start off with this. I want to talk about the numbers of the game. 49ers squeezed this one out, 23-20, last second kick by Jake Moody. Hold on your Moody takes. Total yards for the 49ers, 413. Passing yards, 338. Rushing yards, only 75. They allowed Tampa Bay to run for 110. Yards per play, 6.8 versus 3.7. We have some numbers for our fellas. Brock Purdy, 25 for 36, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock ended up having a good game. We're going to talk about him more in depth. Christian McCaffrey made his return, 13 carries for 39 yards, 3 per carry. Not the best rushing numbers. Brock got his typical 17 to 20 yards. Debo 3 for 14. Mason only 1 carry. What's up with that? We're going to talk about that. Receiving, Juwan Jennings 7 receptions for 93 yards. Ricky Pearsall, shout out to Ricky, 4 for 73 and a touchdown. Chris McCaffrey 6 for 68. Debo Samuel 5 for 62, and our guy Kittle 3 for 57 in a touchdown. Fred Warner led the team with tackles, 6 tackles. Devondre Campbell has been doing this thing 2 weeks in a row. Shout out to Devondre Campbell. Ronald Green continues to be a dude. Diamador Lenore continues to be a dude. Nick Bosa, we got to talk about Nick Bosa. We do have to talk about Nick Bosa. He's on the list. We're going to finish with Nick Bosa. But, fellas, here's my question for you, man. Talk to me about the positives. I think Brock Purdy's a good one. Brock Purdy is now trending 4,635 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions on the season. He needs to increase those touchdowns, obviously. But tonight was a big game for him. He led 2 comeback drives. I thought he played fantastic in the fourth quarter. The first half, he was very inaccurate despite what the numbers shown, but he came back and did his thing and ended up being a big player in this game. Mr. Bob, what do you think of Brock tonight, brother?
You know what I love about him tonight? He kept his poise. He didn't seem that rattled. Yes, he was a little off target in the first half and maybe even a little in the third quarter, but he kept his poise and he delivered. Also love the fact that he looked to run a little bit, instead of waiting, especially in the first half, he got on his wheels. So I like seeing that. He made plays happen, but he didn't force plays. I didn't see a lot of forced passes. So, 2 thumbs up for Brock today. I was very happy with him.
Yes, sir. What about you, Twin? What you think of Brock, bro?
Again, the first half was quite shaky. We saw some things in there that we was like, golly, man, what's going on? But Brock is one thing Brock has shown that throughout the game, he does get a little bit better. Kyle gets in a little bit of a groove too as well, and Brock ended very good. So there's nothing wrong with critiquing that first half. It was kind of sketchy at first. We was all wondering what was going on. He kind of didn't feel comfortable. I don't know if it's because of the delay far as having that break, you know what I mean? But after a while, he kind of started settling in, and that's what we need to see. We got to see a settle in Brock, because if not, things can get tricky. And thank God that the defense held up and we didn't have more points. The opposing team didn't have as much points on the board than what they could have had.
Yeah, man. Defense played well tonight. Shout out to Dave Barkley for the super chat. Says, "What's up, guys? Trey Lyles seems to use too much. Why can't we run by committee? 2 running backs behind the line." So here's how we're doing it today. Dave, we're hitting the positives first, and then we're gonna hit the negatives. And I feel like most of your super chats should go towards the end of the show. Just that, you know, I know you, Dave. So maybe save them because we're headed in the direction you want to go. I promise we'll get there. But there are some positives in this game. I thought Brock played good, man. 2 comeback drives in the end. That was great to see for me, man. And I got to give Brock it. He was definitely inaccurate in the first half. I'm not sure why, but second half, tell of 2 halves, kind of like in the Cowboys game. He came out and did his thing in the third quarter. I thought it was great to see. And then here is his passing chart for the game. Everything under 20 yards, which is fine with me. He's shown that he can hit the deep pass if he really needs to, but I think some of his struggles throughout this season is just not dinking and dunking enough. And I felt like he was passing up open opportunities, and he definitely took advantage of Christian McCaffrey in the passing game. What does this chart mean to you, Bob?
Well, you know, this chart means to me that I hate to say it, but you were probably a little right calling him dink and dunk. But it's a good dink and dunk. It's within the system. It's within his comfort zone. He's not forcing passes. You know what I also love to see is that he spread the ball around. He doesn't favor the middle. He doesn't favor one side to the other. So I like seeing that out of his 36 passes. You know, I mean, he pretty much split them 12 each side, middle and left and right. So I love seeing that out of Brock. Again, that shows me that he's seeing the field well and he's going through his progressions.
Yeah. What about you, Twin? Is the chart mean anything for you tonight, or not really? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, call me a hater, but I'll be there. Does it mean a lot for me? Not really, man. I think Brock has shown that he can do this against teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the past. A lot of his yards last year and what we've known him to do against teams were what we saw today. It's not these aren't the game I'm concerned about. You know what I'm saying? It's against those other teams that when Brock is playing as a team that can actually score points and that has a better defense, it doesn't necessarily translate into the fourth quarter. But this game, he was able to play against a team like Tampa Bay that was on a 3-game losing streak. And they necessarily didn't have the weapons to put points on the board when we wasn't moving the ball early on in the game, which gave him an opportunity, even though those numbers look gaudy, 25 for 36, 353 yards, but you only have 2 touchdowns. And even with that stat you just showed earlier, 26 touchdowns almost on 5,000 yards. Let's be honest. We're looking for more. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a lot of yardage, but we're not putting that ball in the end zone. So for this game, I'm glad that we got the W, but at the same time, I still see those things that give us trouble against the upper echelon teams right there appearing in front of our faces.
Yeah, yards mean very little to me, to be honest. He could have 1,000 yards on the season if his touchdown to interception ratio is where it's at. But this play right here, man, I got to shout out to, let me make sure I get her name. Grace Corley was at the game. Shout out to Grace Corley, whoever you are and wherever you are. Caught this angle. I thought it was a really good play by Brock Purdy. Let's watch it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That was a great play by Brock, man. I think Brock's doing his thing.
Yeah. Hey, shout out for the O-line. You know what I'm saying? Brock was back there dancing around a little bit. He was out there looking like Gregory Hines, but the O-line did give him some time, you know what I mean, to be able to sit there for at least 4.5 seconds, maneuver a little bit. He acted like he was going to the right, went around, went to the left. And hey, guys, what happens when you show George Kittle some targets? Like when you give him a chance in the end zone, he usually come down with a touchdown. So I was glad that he got the opportunity to go out there and make a play. And big up to number 85 as well. Yeah, man. Shout out to Edgar Ascoli. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I don't know what R stands for. Rubios? Like what? I don't know what money. You guys are smarter than me. What kind of money is R? Starts with an R. You guys might know. Rubies. No, that's probably wrong.
Rubies?
I don't know. $2 though, man. Appreciate it. Dave Barclay says positive. We weren't up by 10 in the fourth, so no worries. We're gonna get there. Look at Dave. You're such a feisty guy, Dave. All right. Let's talk Christian McCaffrey, man. Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries, 39 yards, 3 yards per carry. Not great. But in the passing game, man, huge. 6 receptions, 68 yards, 11.3 yards per reception. Let's take a look at what he said after the game.
I never go in, expecting anything. It's just if my number's called, I like to be out there. I think when I go back and look at the tape, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that just getting back into a feel of real game. That's the third time I've had pads on in 8 weeks. So just getting back into a groove that was really good for me to do. I think there's a couple of things that maybe I didn't feel like myself 100%, but that's normal when you haven't played in a long time. And I'll learn and grow from those and just keep trucking along.
All right. What did you think, Twin, of Christian McCaffrey today and his words after the game?
I mean, it's just good to see him go out there and finish the game first and foremost. He didn't go out there and do anything like really like spectacular for real. Besides some of the game, like the balls that he caught out the backfield, which are always great. But other than that, the running was pretty much the same what we have been seeing to me. Even though the broadcasters kind of like geeked it up and like, ooh, once Christian McCaffrey is back, this is what you get. But when we look at the stats, it was like, it was okay. It wasn't really nothing too crazy. And so I'm just glad he made it out there. I'm glad Kyle kind of kept the snap count down as well. And Christian is Christian. He looked good and crisp on his running routes, and that's what I like the most, what he's doing out of the backfield.
Yeah, man. It's good to see Christian back. I'm going to talk about a little bit later on why I think he didn't run as well, besides the fact what he stated. But, Bob, what do you think of Christian today?
Well, first, I'm just very happy, as Twin said, that he made it through the game. I was concerned. I think he had his snap count was pretty dang on high. I couldn't find it before we got on. He had a lot of touches. 13 rushing, but he had some receptions. I just thought he was on the field too much. But it was good to see he was fairly explosive. He didn't seem to be as slow or having any lingering issues with those Achilles. So I'd love to see that, and the fact of what he adds to the offense. He gives the offense a certain extra pow that we need, and for the defense, they have to look out for him, and you can see that today. You can actually see it. But I will say this: we're keeping it positive. We're trying to keep it. I got to keep it a buck though. His average wasn't that good. You can tell how the defense just started to really focus on him. And I don't think that Kyle Levy did him any favors by running him the same way. But, hey, he made it. He looked good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I got some observations as to why he may have struggled a little bit in the running game, partially. And we got a lot more to dive into. The second half of the show will be a little more spicy, I'm sure. Keith Murray says golf with 4 picks right now. Dave Barkley says Texans Lions Super Bowl preview. Stroud looks good. That was my Super Bowl preview in March. I was a little concerned about the Texans so far. Golf's playing awful right now. That's still my prediction, but these Texans are going to have to get past the Ravens and the Chiefs, which is not going to be easy. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, he's never lost before. He's unbeaten, undefeated throughout life. Shout out to Keith Murphy. Says I don't like Mason being benched. Pretty much. Yeah, man, that's on the list. I promise you, brother Bob for head coach 2025. Please fire Kyle. Says Dave Barkley. I told you the end of the show. Gosh, Dave. All right, let's talk about Jawan Jennings, man. What'd you guys see from Jawan, Bob? What'd you see from Jawan?
What a difference maker he is. I love seeing the tenacity he brings to the game, to the team. I was a little concerned. I was hoping that I thought he got dinged for a little bit, but he managed to get back in the game and managed to produce. Looking at his numbers, I know you went through his numbers, but I saw probably our second best receiver. He was the best today, but second best on the whole team. I think he's actually better than Debo. Debo's more explosive, but give me Jawan, especially
as a receiver. Yeah,
as a receiver. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Twin?
JJ? I think we know what size does. That's one thing about Debo.
Pause on
that. Here come Ryan coming out hot.
Sorry, Twin. I got to. Bro.
So with JJ back in the game, you see what he does. You know what I mean? And he gave the quarterback, aka Brock Purdy, a consistent target. And we all know with size, they know what they're getting. You know what I'm saying? And they call recidivism. They will come back, you know what I mean? Because they know they can count on you. And so that's one thing about the one and only Juwan Jennings. He's accountable, you know what I mean? And you can count on him to be there. And I like that Brock was able to look at him early on in that game to kind of get his feet wet, you know what I mean? And even though they missed each other on one play, besides then, he was a big target. He got the ball. He made some tough yards after the catch, especially on third downs per usual. That's why his name is Third and Juwan. And it was just good just to have him out there on the field, but not only just him as a wide receiver, but the nastiness. We got to make sure we take that into account. He goes out there and he black out and he plays with a certain type of physicality that we don't necessarily talk about like we do with Debo, but Juwan Jennings has that same type of mentality out there on the field as well.
Yeah, and we'll get into some of the negative with Jake Moody. But at the end of that game, Juwan Jennings extending that last play to get some more yards and put him in a better position to kick was huge. Tommy Huxley says, Officer Hensley Brock is legit said, I don't know why he calls me a cop. If you really knew me as a young man, you probably wouldn't say that. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's my mustache. But you know that, Tommy, that people with facial hair earn more money than people without facial hair on average? It's a true story. True story. Brock's legit. Brock is legit. True story. Google it. You got to Google it. People with facial hair make more money than people without facial hair. It's true. True. I don't know if you guys knew that, but now you know. All right. We're going to talk a couple more positives. We got a lot. George Kittle, man. George Kittle tonight, 3 for 57. Obviously, you saw that great catch he had in the back of the end zone. He extended a few plays for Brock Purdy as well, getting some yak. What do you guys think about George Kittle, man? He's been around a while. He doesn't seem to be declining. Bob, what do you think of George Kittle tonight, man?
He's a beast, and he should be featured more in this offense, man. I love the fact that not just the catch, but his feet. Like he knew he had to get both feet down. He had to do a toe tackle. And this is a tight end doing a toe tackle right there at the corner in the end zone, man. That's phenomenal. But he's a beast. I just wish he got the ball more. You remember like the year after he set the record, then I think Kelsey set it with receptions for tight end. I mean, I was expecting to see they go back to Kittle because you can just feed him the ball. And I wish we did, especially now that BA is out, because he's a matchup nightmare, man. But I will say this. It's good to see the way that the ball was spread out today. You went over the numbers earlier. I don't want to backtrack on those numbers, but it was good to see that, you know. So Juwan got the most. I think Kittle was next. It was really good to see that.
Yeah, Kittle has the second or the most touchdowns in the NFL for a tight end, and he's trending the second most yards in his career. George Kittle on a different team or even on this team featured a little bit more would be unquestioned the best tight end in the league. What do you think, Twin?
Again, here's another game that Kittle was productive, but once again, you felt like you couldn't see him early on in the game. It's like, where's George? I think there was like 3 series in a row early in that first half that George didn't even get a look. And it's like, how can you come off a game against Dallas and be so productive and have that type of connection with Brock, and then you go series after series without being targeted at all? And especially when in the red zone, we're not efficient. We don't really get a lot of touchdowns. So if he's your bread and butter play, commit to it. Quit thinking just because you got CMC, that's the person you need to commit to. No, God dog it. Commit to number 85. If 85 is coming in there, he getting live, he getting dirty, he getting ragged. Go feed him the ball. Like, quit waiting these big old gasps before he can go out there and show you guys what he's been doing every time he's featured as a tight end. And so my thing is, man, I like what he did, but I felt like he could have done a lot more early on in that game so that the game would have to come down to what the second half came down to.
Can I speak on that real quick? Sorry, I know we're trying to keep it tight. I misspoke. What I was trying to say is Kittle had like the best average for yards per reception. But you're right, Twin. He only had 4 targets. He caught 3 of them. You know, that's pathetic to me. You know, Debo Samuel have more targets than Kittle. That should never happen. So you're absolutely right. That's what I was saying earlier, that he should get more targets because he's a beast. He's a matchup nightmare. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, you're good, brother. Dave Barkley says Twin got the old school asteroids behind his head. He's partying, man. He's partying. It's disco over there. It's a disco. Keith Murphy,
baby.
Keith Murphy, the undefeated, 85 should be number one option in the passing game. He really should, at least in the red zone. I'll tell you that much. There's a couple dudes I want to just hit on real quick, and then we'll finish with the final player I wanted to highlight. But I got to give a shout out to Diamador Lenore. Has been maybe the most consistent player on this team throughout the entire season, maybe even more consistent than Fred Warner, to be real. I don't know if Demo's had a bad game all season, so I got to give a shout out to Diamador Lenore. Also, a guy who's probably underused, in my opinion, the undrafted free agent, Evan Anderson, had a big play to help stop the Buccaneers from scoring, so I got to give a shout out to him. But the final player I want to highlight today, man, is Ricky Pearsall, just about 6 weeks off a gunshot wound. He goes out there, scores his first touchdown on a big play, one of the biggest plays for the 49ers. It was the biggest play for the 49ers in this game. Only the third touchdown reception over 20 yards this season. What did you guys think about Ricky Pearsall, Twin?
I think he had an opportunity when so early in this game, let's be honest, Brock was hesitant with his reads. Like he wanted to release, like he didn't set his foot and just throw it. He was like pump faking a lot of the times. But on that throw, he had a couple bad ones in a row, but he sat down, he threw that ball with accuracy. He gave the catcher opportunity to run after the catch. Ricky caught that ball and he was running like he was on Boys in the Hood. Like Ricky was gone, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended, because he did actually get shot, both of them. But did Ricky survive? You know what I'm saying? He made it to the NFL too and scored a touchdown. So I was glad he was able to take that ball, run up field, get his first touchdown in the National Football League. I thought that would have like re-energized the whole team in general and kind of got them on a like little create an avalanche, but it didn't do that. And so, but I'm just glad for the young fella, man. Number 14, go out there and get a W, man.
Yes, sir. Well, we're about to get real here in just a second. Before we do, though, here's what I want to ask you guys.
It's time for Ryan G. Hensley's Player of the Game.
I mean, it's no doubt. It's no doubt. Look at what he did.
All right, fellas. Feel free to just co-sign if you feel the same way. You don't have to come up with someone new. But I always like to steal the first answer on this topic because it makes me look smart. But Brock Purdy, man, I think is player of the game to me. The way he played in the second half, particularly in that fourth quarter, 2 game-winning drives, 25 of 36, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, which I believe was the most yards and the best quarterback day of any quarterback in the NFL today. That's my player of the game. Twin, what about you, bro?
Man, I'm going JJ, man. JJ say he back, like he never left. You know what I mean? I think we miss his physicality and his ability to go out there and just be reliable. And so it's good to see him out there, even though I thought he got hurt once again. I was like, oh, crap, please, Lord Jesus, help him out. But, man, shout out to Juwan. He came back and made his presence felt, and that's who I would give it to,
Yes, sir. What about you, Bob?
Jake Moody.
Hey,
I thought about saying that too. I was about to be petty, but I was like,
no, man, seriously. This is a no-brainer to me. I think it's clearly Brock Purdy. I love seeing, someone who collects himself. He's a little, like I said earlier, he was a little out of it the first half, but he came back, kept his poise, and more importantly, he didn't turn the ball over. I mean, so there was that one chance, that one time he did get the ball knocked out of his hand when he was scrambling, but, I got to give it to him. But for him, I don't think that we're even close. I mean, it's clear to me that it's him. I can't even think, if I had to go second, it would probably be Juwan, third and Juwan, because he was great. But yeah, to me, this is nothing but Purdy.
Yeah. And I see everybody in the chat. We're going to get to where you want to go. I promise it's going to get spicy in a second. Matt McKellen says defense needs discipline. They do. I thought they played well overall. There's one thing I want to hit on defensively here in just a second. 14 look better every game. I love this rookie class. Yeah, I agree, man. Ricky seems to be improving. Ricky, like Garindo, every time I see him, seems to be just a little bit better. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to run our 17-second commercial from my sponsor. We're going to be back and talk about the negatives in the game, which is what I feel like everyone wants to talk about. Maybe Bob and Twin included in that. Give us 17 seconds, please.
The Ryan G. Hensley Show is powered by the law office of Chris McCurdy.
Chris McCurgy and his team have been empowering businesses, guiding families, and taking care of the injured since 2012. In California, for estate planning, business, or personal injury, be smart and contact Chris McCurgy. Be smart. Hit up my guy, Chris McCurgy. All right, fellas, I got to play this for you. I got to play two things for you, actually. Let me start with this.
What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that?
Yeah. Yes. What's up with this? What is up with this? What is going on? 49ers, Debo, Moody, Tabor Pepper, out of pocket. Out of pocket. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes and like really dive in. It's good to I like being positive, but what all right, first of all, Bob, what did you think of the Debo and Tabor Pepper scuffle?
You know what? It's hard for me to defend Debo, but I'd probably be really pissed too dealing with what Moody was doing, man. I mean, I'm sorry. You're a third-round draft pick. I blame Kalibi for that. We had a decent backup kicker, right? And then you come back in the game and you can't hit for shit. I'm sorry, my language. I'm sorry. But that guy was wide left twice, wide right. I mean, like, bro. And then he barely made the last field goal. Then there was one earlier that I thought, damn, did that skim off of the upright? Barely made one earlier. So I'm like, you know, he's just not the answer. And I'll be damned. I'll leave it just, you have to admit, you got to move on from Moody. Okay. It's clear as day, man. You got to move on, right? I mean, like, but he's not going to. But what is that with that Moody guy? What is that, man? I just don't understand. He's a bum. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this, too. The fact that he got hurt because he didn't kick the ball off deep that one game in the back of the end zone is just pathetic to me. Why the hell we draft this guy? You know what I'm saying? That's how he got hurt, making a tackle. Man, but anyway, sorry. Debo, you shouldn't have put your hands on your own player, though. That's your own teammate, man. You know, handle that behind the locker. But I probably would have busted shit out of doggone booty.
Come on, man. Hey, listen here. Hey,
go ahead,
man.
Twin.
Look, call me a hater. I got brothers, you know what I'm saying? Listen, if me and my brothers will fight each other, if a dude on the sidelines are in a game where they believe they should be winning this game and they out here selling for field goals, and then when you settle for the field goal, you're missing the field goal. So one, you peed off that you're not going down there scoring touchdowns. He been reading the tea leaves knowing that we dang near less than 50% in the red zone. So that's one thing. Second, we're playing against a team in Tampa who's already losing 3 games in a row. We're supposed to come in there after a bye week, be like ramrodding these boys. That's another thing. So then we are here. There's a point in time in the game where Cal could have went for it on a couple of those plays. He decided not to because of the play calls he called on third down, which made us scratch our head early in the first half. Like, what are you doing? Like, you put us in a position so this guy will even be out on the field, and then he's not even going out there and doing what he's paid to do. So with all those things being said, man, I'm ticked off. Like, because at the end of the day, bro, I'm so tired of this team having all this meat left on the bones. Like, I'm from the country, god dog it. We eat it to the gristle. You feel me? To the gristle. That we eat the skin and the god doggone gristle, and we leaving too much meat on the god doggone bone. And I'm tired of it. And so Debo was sitting there looking like, God dang, man, we brought you back to do this right here. And at the end of the day, you heard Jerry Rice. For y'all who don't know who Jerry Rice is, go Google my man's. He said it 2 weeks ago on KNBR. The game that we lost in Kansas City, he said, why ain't nobody over there punching, pushing, causing some type of ruckus on the 49ers sideline for the game that we went out there and played? He said, I don't see no passion. I don't see nobody out there showing no sense of urgency. So now Debo does it. If somebody got an issue with it, go holler at number 80. Go talk to the GOAT and say, well, GOAT, you had it. Why did you sit there and tell these young men to go out there and cause some issues? Because he's saying, God dog it, we need to play with a little more life. Like we care a little bit. And so when you do care, you turn to the Undertaker and you choke slam a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jerry Rice, his quote was, "If we were playing like that, we would have been fighting on the sidelines." It was talking about previous games. So here's the thing, man. If you played sports before, team sports at all before, you understand what just happened in that game. A lot of people are so offended by Debo Samuel, and I get it. You got to keep your hands to yourself, but it's like Twin said, brothers get into it like that. It happens. It's not the end of the world. My understanding is that Debo was pissed off at Jake Moody missing 3 field goals in a row. That should have had the team up by 9. And he said something to him. And according to Tabor Pepper, he said, "You need to lock in." I don't know. I'm assuming it was probably more than that. And out of respect to Tabor Pepper, I also understand why he's defending his kicker. That's his job. He's the long snapper. He's that guy. So I understand why both dudes were doing what they was doing. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean too much more than that. But if you see Jake Moody missing a lot of field goals in the future, that's when things could come jumping back up. Twin, do they need a new kicker, bro? Like, what do they do? Do they ride with Jake Moody? By the way, let me tell you guys something before I get Twin's answer. Did you guys know the word Mooney as an adjective means given unpredictable changes of mood, especially sudden bouts of gloominess or sullenness? Just so you know, that's the definition. But go ahead, Twin.
Honestly, if you asking me, man, this is predicated on Kyle and his inability to score in the red zone. It shouldn't even be left up to Jake Moody to go down there and be like kicking some of these field goals. And so, should we get another kicker? I don't want another. Yes, but no. I want us to go out there and score touchdowns, man. I don't want us to have to be relying on some of these games against with Moody. So, at the end of the day, man, can we bring in another kicker? The other guy missed an extra point last week too as well. So no matter who we bring in, they still out here choking. So, man, let them go. Who cares? Bye.
Twin, we spent a 3rd round draft pick for that.
Hey, listen, do him. Know what? You're right. I'm gonna do him like we did Ronnie Gray, Ty Davis Price, the other guy from Ohio State, Sherman. Know what? Every 3rd round draft pick, even Latu, whoever, all y'all just need to get off the team. You're right. Forget them all. All of them got to go.
Yeah, I mean, he missed the extra point in the Super Bowl. Had he made that, we might be Super Bowl champions right now. Missing 3 field goals in a row. He's coming off an injury, but that's the excuse they're throwing out there. But like the kickers that we got off the couch didn't miss no field goal, right? They were able to come off the couch 2 years out without playing and make a field goal. So it's really not an excuse. And based on what we saw in the Super Bowl, if I'm the 49ers, I am trying to find a replacement. I would not trust this man in the playoffs to win a big game. I just wouldn't. And, you know, I don't mean any disrespect to the dude, but this is football. You're getting paid a lot of money. You have one job. You can't be 0 for 3. I mean, he hit 2 earlier, but you can't miss 3 in a row. Now, he made up for it with the game winner. If he would have missed that, oh, man, it would have been really, really bad.
I mean, every bit of this disrespect right here. Moody, get off my team. You are trash. Okay, listen, I'm sorry. Not only did he miss a kick in the Super Bowl, he missed a kick in every playoff game last year. Bro, you got to go. I'm sorry. I don't care. You got to go. Is that
you
something?
are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh man, I was trying to be polite. Thank you, bro. But I do appreciate Brother Bob coming in with the truth, the truthiness. I missed a couple. Keith Murphy's talking about JJ earlier, running from the extra yards on that last play. That was huge. And to go back to that, if JJ didn't do that, you know, Kyle in the post-game speech was like right down the middle. No, buddy, it wasn't. If JJ didn't get those extra yards, he was missing that kick because it barely went in. And then Barkley says, didn't Lyle handpick Moody? Just saying, fire Lyle. He did handpick him. That was his. Well, somebody did. Him and Lynch. I'm assuming Kyle because he makes all the decisions at the end of the day. So yeah, it ultimately falls on. So here's my question for you guys: special teams is absolute dog doo-doo. Darrell Luter Jr. But Darrell Jr. got pushed into Jacob Cowing. They fumbled the punt. Special teams continues to suck. Here's my thing, and I want to get you guys' take. I'm not against firing Schneider. I'm not going to shed any tears, okay? But Schneider's not going to make Moody make these kicks he's not going to make the kicker that Kyle Shanahan drafted any better. Darrell Luter Jr. has been taught since Pee Wee football not to do what he did tonight. So that's not really on Schneider. This is about these dudes needing to step up. And ultimately, these dudes were put here by Kyle. Fire Schneider. I'm not going to lose any sleep on it. Do you think they need to? Do you think that would fix the problem? Or what do you think the problem is? Who's next? Bob?
Me? Hell no, it ain't gonna fix the problem. Let me tell you why. Because they're not disciplined. And they're not disciplined because Kyle Levy's not disciplined. But the fact that we got this same old problem again. Luter did this in the Super Bowl, right? But shouldn't Kyle be yelling at him? Move, 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 right? There's got to be a word, fire, fire, something that you communicate. Get away from me. Get away from me. No, didn't happen. So they're not coached, man. And that's the problem with Kyle Levy's team. They're just don't seem to be coached right. Always out coached with the simple things. Like in the Super Bowl. Didn't know the rule. Here you are again. Same shit in the Super Bowl. Get away. The word that I've heard is fire, fire, fire. Man, I don't think it's going to make a difference because don't we hear Kyle Levy like listens into all the different rooms from the different squads, like, the wide receiver room, running back room, all the different coaches. Doesn't he listen to special teams? What's going on? I don't know. It ain't going to make no difference.
Yeah. What do you think, Twin? Does he need to be fired? Will it make a difference? What's the solution?
Hot Tire had an issue. We got a new guy, still have an issue. So at the end of the day, it's not the special team guys, like my man's brother Bob just said. Throughout practice, we know that Kyle Shanahan is really just chilling, looking at the offense and seeing what they're doing. I think it's time for him to kind of start going over there and checking out with the special teams and let them know that, man, listen here, we really over here choking. You know what I'm saying? I said it earlier, like, bro, we are straight trash. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to our special teams, man. And once, okay, that may be a mistake. Twice, all right, shame on me. The third or fourth time, God dog it, we are allowing these things to happen. Second, and then even after that, when our offense, so we know our special team is not necessarily great, but then our red zone is not necessarily great. So therefore, you telling me as a coach, you relying on your special teams with a guy who just came back instead of your Pro Bowl tight end, your Pro Bowl other wide receiver, and your other guys. And to me, that don't make sense. At least if we go missing and turn the ball over on downs, man, I'd rather you try to give a ball to Kittle or somebody else. So, man, bump all that, man. Hey, Moody, it's time for you to go out there, get that green card. Get them papers and get up out of here, man.
James Wilson says, I like Moody. I think he's underappreciated. I don't know how why he deserves more appreciation, but I like that you like him. I think that's nice of you. But I don't get that. I don't get that take. Look, man, this is professional sports, right? And so to me, go ahead and fire Schneider. Why not? Why not? His team, they're 32nd in the NFL. Okay, you're the coach of that team. Fire him, but I honestly not sure how much it's going to change. Ultimately, Kyle's responsible for the people on this roster and the people that are active on game day. And these players got to step up. Twin, you're a big basketball guy, brother. I am too. I coached basketball for a long time. Outside of kicker and the return man, special teams to me is about effort and discipline. Staying in your lanes and giving it the best effort you can. It's about execution. And is that a weird comparison for you? Do you agree? Like, what is the problem with the special teams? Now, tonight it was Moody and Luter just not being aware or disciplined. I don't know what the hell is going on. But in general, they're 32nd. What's the freaking problem with the special teams, dude? How do we fix it? I need an answer. I need an answer from you right now, Twin.
I believe confidence. I just don't think he believes in his foot. I think he just sit there and he second guesses too often. And I think he feel the pressure of the offense and not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And he's just not necessarily mentally strong enough. He doesn't have the fortitude to go out there and kick under pressure because he's not just missing one direction. He's missing all types of ways. And so, man, he's just not the guy for for this team right now. Hey, Robbie Gold, man, I'm sorry for everything. Come back. Maybe come back.
Hit up Robbie Gold, man. Maybe we bring Robbie Gold back. Maybe that's I don't know. Fire everybody at this point. Keith Murphy says, am I wrong for saying being in some of these dogfights is good for the team? No, you're not. I think that's what the point that Jerry Rice was making. He wants to see some more fight out of these guys, and I think I feel it. I feel it. Let me talk about another dude that was a problem. And I was telling you guys earlier, CMC didn't look like himself running the ball, and he didn't. Right, necessary 3 yards of carry is not good. But let me tell you guys a problem that I was focused in. Kyle Juszczyk cannot block anybody. Like he's not moving anybody. He is not moving anybody. The 49ers need a new fullback because why are you out there? You get 11 catches all season long. That you're asked to block at least 11 times per game, and you're not moving anybody. You're just in the way. You're making good money for a fullback to just be in the way. That's not enough. You have to move bodies. Jim Harbaugh went and put his 300-pounder at fullbacks because he can move bodies. The 49ers, look, if you want to keep Juice to catch 11 passes a season, fine. But also find a fullback that can move bodies. And that's why I saw it multiple times on Debo's run, on a lot of Christian McCaffrey's runs. Juice didn't move anybody. And that's a big part of the problem. Bob, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's been evident. I'm surprised to go back to this offseason when they brought him back. I thought his money could be used someplace else. To be candid, though, I don't even think we really need to worry about having a better fullback. I think we need to adapt and play without a fullback. Maybe, most teams don't even have a fullback anymore, dedicated like we do. But I think he's just over the hill now. I just think the game is passing by. But he's the Cabo Click resident, So hey, come on down, be with us, So I don't think that's going to change, unfortunately. I mean, he would have to retire to be off of this team.
This got to be his last season for me. It's got to be his last season. Did you notice anything from Juice, man, twin? Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I think it's once again when he's in the game, he's more of a decoy. He doesn't do nothing extremely effective. I believe that they should use him in I formation, use him in strong back formation, use him as a traditional God dog get fullback. Like put him in there, God dog and leading the way. You know what I'm saying? Like Hot Wheels, let him lead the way in between the A and the B gap in the red zone. Let him go out there and go and meet the God dog on linebacker one-on-one. And we're going to pay you that God dog much money, man. Go out there and hit somebody. Other than that,
he's going to get blown up if he does that.
Yeah.
He's not. He can't. That's what I'm saying.
But if he's not going to do that,
yeah.
This is again. This goes back to Kyle Shanahan. How in the hell we got Mason sitting over there on the sideline chilling, and we don't have him in the game? Like utilize this guy was a mother freaking battling ram. So you telling me that he's in the game. You tell me you can't modify and put him in the package with him and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, line up beside one another and have some type of misdirection. You see what I'm saying? Like if he's not going to be productive, there was a guy out there, I think he's number 3 in the NFL in rushing yards. Bro, look what he's done. He doesn't get tackled by the first guy. Like utilize this guy as well. And then if you ain't going to use him as a good blocker. And to me, again, Kyle Shanahan and his creativity is very like nil right now, and I just don't like our red zone efficiency and our ability to stay consistent with the run, especially with CMC back.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry. Let me just say, excuse you, twin. Put some respect on that name. Kyle Levy is a genius. Okay, you can see it in his offensive schemes and play calling. What are you talking about?
Dave Barkley says, how much does third-round pick pay Moody? He's $1.2 million this year. Cap hit is Jake Moody's contract. Cryptic says, CMC coming back from injury. Let's ease him in, right? Nope. Let's never put our other running back in the game and forget about Mason. Where's the rotation? That's what bugged me. This is another thing I had on my list. Thanks for bringing it up, buddy. I appreciate it. Mason with 1 carry, Garendo with 1 carry. That's
Houseway.
That's not the plan. Houseway. Go ahead and talk on it, twin.
Man, we see this before. I said this in week 1. Me and you was on, Ryan. I said when Mason went out there and had like 3 tackles where he shrugged off the first tackle and ran after the first contact, I said we would have won the Super Bowl in the third quarter if you gave this guy the opportunity to go out there and run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. Again, here we go. Another opportunity for you to split the doggone carries with a guy who has been extremely productive. And we sit up here and we do the same doggone thing. Like, at what point are we going to hold Kyle Shanahan accountable to having the horses in the stable? Like last year, you had Mitchell in Mason in your stable, you didn't utilize him. This year, you went from having the number one running back, put him in the back seat, and then put Garando in the game, and then Mason then only has one carry. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense when you're not utilizing your best players to go out there and be productive, and we seen him be extremely productive, man. Those linebackers wouldn't know what to do if you got CMC going this way and Mason going the other way. Like, just him being on the field is another threat as well, and we're not utilizing the players that we have that have been consistently impactful for this team, man. It just doesn't make sense, man. Kyle is on Kyle Shanahan time, and he doing what he usually do, which is not drop his testicles on the doggone gridiron and sit there and let you guys know I'm going to physically outman you all and show you we're about that life.
Jordan Mason hasn't had a game with 3 yards per carry all season, by the way. CMC, he's coming back, so I'm going to give him time. But Jordan Mason is a better runner between the tackles than Christian McCaffrey. He is. I've been saying that for a long time. Christian McCaffrey is great on the outside. He's great in the passing game. But running between the tackles, I would say Jordan Mason is actually a better, tougher runner than Christian. I've always felt that way. And I'm not taking away from Christian and how great he is. But I feel like that's a combination they could use. And then also Isaac Garando from time with that speed on the outside. I think that would be good combination. So I would like to see him mix everybody in a little bit more. It's kind of cold that they just dropped Jordan Mason when he's trending to have the 5th greatest rushing yards season by any Niner in 49er history.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
which just kind of this whole situation, if you think about it, and I know I always give ish to Kyle Levy, but this was CMC's first game of the whole year. And you mean to tell me that you featured him his first game? Like, is he even in football shape? I think after the game, he kind of said he wasn't.
He said he's not.
So, right. So why would you feature him? Run him to the ground. He just came back, double Achilles issue, Achilles or whatever. And then you got a great guy just vanished. I just don't understand it. Maybe this is why you don't have a Super Bowl ring, Kyle Levy, because you outthink everything. I mean, Jordan Mason should have at least gotten 10 carries, 10 touches. That way you're spelling, CMC. He doesn't get hurt. But no, we know it. You're the genius, which is why CMC's hurt anyway, right? So, hey, you've got all the Super Bowl rings to show that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But listen, honestly, this is like, to me, I know I'm in the law and the legal field, but this is just malpractice. Why are you going to just set Mason on the bench? Like, he's good. And Mason is good in the passing game. He's good catching the ball.
And real fast, and I'll say it real fast. Ain't no way in hell Debo should take his little chunky butt back there, in the backfield again. Like, dude, if God doggone Mason has shown you enough this year, whereas he can do the same thing what Debo is doing, like, bro, you tell me you can't have I formation, strong back formation, full house formation, and you could motion out Christian McCaffrey into the slot if you want to and keep God doggone Mason in the backfield to run the ball, so on and so forth. Like, bro, Debo shouldn't have to sit there and take unnecessary punishment as running back anymore. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a game in the God doggone playoffs, so you need to add a little sprinkle, a little razzle dazzle. But other than that, like my man, brother Bob say, man, it's malpractice. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to say objection, and he need to be overruled. Come on.
Dave Barclay, let me get these super chats, fellas. We got a few of them. Says, why is Juice on the team for I formation? Please exit, he said. Matt McCowan, Juice is getting tackled more without the ball than with players with the ball. Ouch, y'all going in on Juice, and I appreciate it. GTC says that's a lot of touches first game. Sounds like Kyle's play calling is catching up with the league. I mean, Garando, no carries, just wow. I believe he had one. I believe, yeah.
Garando had one. Yeah.
Tangs is deserving name. No Juice since OJ. Keith Murphy said, oh shoot, it's out of control. It's out of control there. Keith Murphy said he played well, but 36 passing attempts is too many. Dave Barclay says how to take Mason out to afford him next year. Hey, maybe there's some of that. And then Keith Murphy says, perfect time to give CMC slot touches and still give Mason touches. This offense still has crazy weapons. Use some imagination. This is a good point, man. I feel like he is a better I honestly sometimes I feel like CMC is a better receiver than a running back. He's amazing with the ball in his hands. He's probably, if it's not Juwan or Kittle, Christian might have the best hands on the team. And maybe Juwan is, and then Christian would be second. So I would use it more in the passing game as well. I'm going to share something with you guys real quick. Shout out to all of you guys for the super chats, but I got a new little segment, and I'll play right now.
It's the tweet of the day, man. The tweet of the day.
Todd, tweet of the day. Tweet of the day goes to me.
Whoop, whoop. Come on. Hey, say that motherfucker again. Put that on a loop, baby. Say that. Hey, come on, baby.
Nick Bosa, great again, said Ryan G. Hensley on X. I call it Twitter, but I think this is the tweet of the day, and I'm going to give myself a credit because Nick Bosa, man, he got that one sack against – he got the backup against, I think, what was it, School? The backup left tackle. Outside of that, really bad missing tackles left and right. He held Baker's hand and walked to the sideline with him and allowed him to make an incredible play that ended it. Nick Bosa, dude, you are the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. You have to do better than the way. I know he was hurt. Before everyone comes at me, he's hurt. He was hurt. Then don't play. Like, put someone else out there. If he can't play, then don't play. But he has not been himself. He has 5.5 tackles on the season. He's trending 10. That's not highest paid player in the NFL money. I'm sorry. What do you guys think, Twin?
Man, listen here. I said this on my god dog on Twitter. I said, listen here, man. Nick Bosa is looking extremely trash. It look like, listen, he getting a game being ran on him like he was Tiana Trump out here. I said, listen, I seen him on his back more than she was. I said, boy, come on, man. Get off your back. You know what I'm saying? Do you have a god dog on mattress on the behind your back? He's on the ground that much. I'm thinking like Nick, he kept getting sandwiched. It was one-on-one with School, who was a god dog on 7th-round draft pick for the Niners. Worth is out the game. Like, he had, even Tom Brady was like, well, I mean, it's third quarter. Nick Bosa ain't got not one pressure. Like, you don't know if he's a man or a woman yet. He ain't that close to the god doggone player to even sniff him to find out what he is, man. Like, we ain't paying you $35 million and you out here invisible. I call you Hollow Man. You are Kevin Bacon in the god doggone 1990s right now, man. I'm like, dude, he got to be better than what he's out there producing, man. I don't care what nobody say. If this was what's his name? Who got hurt? B.A. dropping passes. We'll say, oh my God, he ain't worth the money. If he was god doggone,
say that's ridiculous.
He's not ridiculous. Like, bro, it ain't right, man. So I don't know what's wrong with Nick Bosa, but he needs some milk. He needs some. He needs some pity milk. He needs golden milk, man, because he ain't playing right
now. Bob, is there anything left to say after that?
That's a great Todd, man. The tweet of the day. I can't get over that.
Todd, baby.
Man, I just want to say this. I was texting my guy, Matt McEwen, MMK, big ups to my dude, and Dave Barclay, my other guy. We were in the group text, and I kept saying, what is going on with Bosa? He's being handled. And then when Burns goes out, and I mean, Justin School. Right, like Justin School,
the
backup couldn't even like really be in the league. I mean, so and you get paid so much. I know I'm repeating some of the things you're saying, but this was going through my mind. And my guy McEwen, love you. He kept saying, "Well, he's hurt." Wait, why is he playing? If he's that hurt, man, he was getting carried. White carried Bosa. There was a play that showed Bosa just whiffing out there. I mean, I'm like, bro, they were just running at Bosa. So it was just like ridiculous. And you know what? I'll never get over that play when he was holding Baker's hand, man. Like 2 hands holding him. It was just ridiculous.
And the thing that was crazy is Baker's running sideways, sidestepping. And Nick Bosa's just holding his hand, running with him. Like, bro, he's sidestepping. You can't accelerate faster than his sidestep and drive him to the ground or like pull him backward or something. That like I don't
Hey,
understand.
listen, if you gonna hold his hand that long, at least ask for his phone number. God dog.
Damn. Matt McEwen says it's Pootie Tang Dave. Dave says
Pootie
OJ was about to be responsible for taking out Twin. You guys are wild. I'll hold Baker's hand for $1 million. Just saying. You'll do it for cheaper. You do it for cheaper. That's good to know, man. I'm glad to hear that. Something else is a little concerning for me. 110 yards. If I don't know why these teams that play the 49ers don't realize that they can't stop the run. The Buccaneers could have ran for 180 yards against the 49ers today if they wanted to. I'm concerned about this. This is a top 10 rushing team that we just faced tonight. The only team that was better than them in the rush that we've played so far is the Cardinals. They ran for 168 yards on us. And then tonight Buccaneers ran for 110 yards on us. And we got a few more challenging running games ahead of us. If these teams were watching, they would know that you just run the ball and Niners can't stop it. Are you concerned about that moving forward, Bob?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it was pathetic, man. The fact that we can't stop the run, and it's so obvious, right? But it's kind of like, other than Warner, and maybe Malik Collins, and I know you gave your boy Anderson some love, but he had a penalty. I mean, that one drive, they're all just grabbing face masks. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but we literally have problems in the middle of that defense. And it's really funny because you're right. I was wondering the same thing, like, why are they trying to force the pass, especially when they don't have Mike Evans and they don't have Godwin? But thank you very much. Especially also, there was a couple that second half, especially the fourth quarter. Baker looked like trash. I'm like, he had one play where he literally fumbled it twice. He couldn't hand it to the running back, and then he picked it up and he tried to shovel it off to the other guy. He was like, the other running back, like, bruh.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, I saw the same thing.
Man,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, the middle of our defense is like a Boston cream donut, boy. It's just as soft and mushy as ever, man. Like, if we don't listen, we need to do something. It's like Irving and White turned to Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith out there. Thank God, like you said, Brother Bob, that they decided to stop running the doggone ball because they were so effective. They was getting like at least 2 to 3 yards after first contact, and that's ridiculous. And then we're missing tackles. Like,
what'd you say? It was ridiculous?
Say that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Jair Brown missing tackles. He's running through the doggone gap, man. It's sad to see right now, boy. Like, and we playing against an injured team and an old team as well in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this is why I can't get too geeked up, because this team's coming in here and they're battling. They don't even have no real guys out there for real. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
If 49ers throwback, he hit me on my DMs on Twitter. He says, why aren't you firing Brian Schneider? He's a special teams coach. I'm not against it. Fire his ass. I could care less. I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to fix anything necessarily. I think a lot of the stuff, the problems that we're seeing are players and Kyle, honestly. So fire them. Let's see if it works. I mean, they're 32nd in the NFL. Can't get worse. Can't get worse. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about as far as problems is red zone. 49ers were 28th in the red zone coming into this game. I imagine that number has not gotten better after today's game. We'll find out. But what's going on with the red zone, Twin? We thought CMC would fix it, or I did.
I didn't think CMC was gonna fix it. Honestly, he is who we thought he was. Our red zone is just that we're not. Even Tom Brady was like, dude, they run away from the run too quickly. They give up on the run. We don't target guys like George Kittle early and often in the game, who is a mismatch for anybody. The linebackers are too big and slow. The safeties are too small for them. I just think that Kyle doesn't necessarily take the time to utilize his best red zone guy consistently. You know what I mean? And then also he lacked creativity as well down there. And so I think Kyle Shanahan really needs to take the time out to go over his playbook and realize, like, I have too many yards, as far as what you were saying earlier. We're on pace for 4,700 yards passing, and you only have 26 touchdowns. That's not good. You know what I mean? And so Kyle has to really sit back and think about what is it about my offense that in the red zone, it's not money time. And so I think it's all about Kyle Shanahan because we're not disciplined. We have dumb penalties in the red zone, and we also don't go down there and score touchdowns. And so we got to really take some more time, tell these guys they need to get on their P's and Q's and execute down there in the red zone.
Yeah, man. Dave, I might disagree with you on this one, buddy. He says Yeadham is no good either. Lyle's responsible. But here's the thing. I don't know why everyone gives Yeadham such trouble. Coverage grade is third on the 49ers out of all corners. Renardo is first. Then Demo, then Isaac Yeadham, then Charvarius and Darrell Luter. We know why Charvarius is struggling and justified. And he's still playing pretty decent. And then overall defensive grade, Isaac Yeadham is second after Ronaldo Green. So I don't think Yeadham's playing that bad. I don't know where the Yeadham hate comes from, and I see not hate, but criticism. I see a lot of people giving it. I think Yeadham's doing okay when he gets in. To be honest, I don't necessarily see that. You would have to explain to me. What do you guys think? Am I tripping? Is Yeadham bad?
Well, okay, look, I think as far as the grades,
I mean, PFF is what it is. Who cares? But yeah.
What'd you say?
I mean, PFF that doesn't mean like that's concrete, right? But I'm just curious where it's coming from, what you guys see, or do you see the same thing?
Well, for me, I see he is the weakest link to me, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think teams do go at him. I do think he's lost a step. I don't think he's as good as people thought. Like last year, he had such a great year. If he did, then why was he available for what he was available for us? But for me though, I don't think he's the biggest problem on the defense. You know who I think the biggest problem in the defense is, and he had a couple of good plays, but that's Campbell. I think he's the biggest problem. They even showed it on with that one touchdown or big play near a touchdown where Warner took a bad angle because he thought he had help from Campbell, but Campbell was slow foot to get out there and make the tackle. So, I think Yeadham is not the biggest problem in defense. I mean, he's barely on the field compared to what he was in the beginning of the season. I think the biggest problem is Campbell. Yeah, and I do agree Campbell had a couple of good plays, but yeah, man, I think there's much bigger problems in Yeadham personally.
Yeah, I mean, coverage to me, the DBs are like the least of my worries. In coverage is the least of my worries this year. Devondre Campbell, he's had a couple of improvements over the last two games, which is good to see. He was the problem in the beginning of the season, but he's done okay the last two games. And right now, to me, the big issue is like we need to get on the quarterback. We need more sacks as a team, and Bosa's got to step up and earn his paycheck, and then stopping the run, which Bosa's also not good at. He's just not. I mean, we talk about him as a sack, a quarterback pass rusher specialist, but he's really bad at defending the run. His rush defense is really bad this year. I don't know if anyone's noticing, but Bosa's going to have to step up. Final question for you, gentlemen. Those are all the points I wanted to hit on from the team. I'm going to be back tomorrow with Eric Crocker at 9 a.m., so make sure you guys all tune in.
What's
and
up,
I think, and then I'll be on with Grant, and then we'll be on the four-man front Tuesday. Those are only the shows I'm doing this week. I'm going out of town, going to Hawaii. Won't be back till next week. But here's you know what? Matter of fact, let me play this. I'm going to play Trent Williams, and then I'm going to ask you guys what you think about Trent and his words here.
Like I said, every week poses a different challenge. Like, still we won this week don't mean that they give us some extra boost for next week. Still got it. It's going to be hard for us. We can't sneak up on nobody. We get everybody's best shot. We were playing in the Super Bowl last year, so people circle us on the schedule. So, we just got to get used to that, man. We're not going to step off the bus and make people quit. Like you said, we're going to give people the best shot every week. And, we got to get used to playing 4 quarters.
All right, so he said basically this game doesn't really mean much next week, and every game's going to be hard. I thought that was good words, but obviously I think all of us would say the 49ers beat Seattle this coming weekend. I would hope. Well, maybe not. Maybe you guys don't feel that way. I guess every game comes into question, right? The 49ers are right now second place in the NFC West until tomorrow. If the Rams beat the 2-6 Dolphins, which they probably will at home tomorrow on Monday night, 49ers will drop back into third place again. Cardinals are doing great. They beat the hell out of the Jets today. 49ers really haven't had a game that they've won where you walk away feeling like, yeah, maybe the Jets week 1, but the Jets aren't very good, especially in week 1. So I guess my question for you guys is, what did this game mean to you, if anything? And we'll finish with that. Let's start with Twin.
So unfortunately, the standard for me is the expectation of a Super Bowl winning team. And so when we win in the manner in which we played today, I'm not too excited. I'm glad we got the W. Yes, people say, oh my God, we won. That's the only thing that matters. I understand that we wasn't a team that people didn't have Super Bowl aspirations for us. But because of that, the standard is here. When you're missing the guys that they're missing on offense and having the guys that we got back today and not, once again, coming off a bye week, not scoring in the red zone. The defense in Tampa Bay hasn't been really good this year. It's like, dude, we got to step it up. You know what I'm saying? So did we get the W? Yes. But once again, I think there's a lot of meat on the bones that was left out there. And I think Kyle Shanahan really has to have a come to Jesus moment and get his guys together. And so that's my 2 cents on it. Thank God we won, but there's a lot of holes out there that we need to cover up, man. And so that's that.
I'm gonna ask you, Bob, the same question after I read this super chat from Easy Tino. Kyle is screwing Mason over because he's a free agent next year and he's trying not to pay him for a big year. I hope Jordan finds a team like Dallas. I hope Jordan Mason comes back. It's going to be hard to pay him next year. I hope that's not what's going on. Honestly, what I think is going on is that Kyle is just a huge Christian McCaffrey groupie. I really think that that's the case. I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I think he's a CMC fan and doesn't want to do it like that. That's what his thing is. That's my opinion. Dave Barkley says Buck took Chiefs to OT just to shed positive light. Yeah, they did. It's a good team. That the Bucks are a good team. So you got to give them credit for that. Bob, what are your feelings on this team, where they're at now, right now, moving forward?
I'm going to just be real. This game showed me that it's time for Kyle Levy to go. I'm sorry. It's really bad because look, I'm being real, bro. You got Moody.
To be fair, he felt like that for. To be fair, he felt like that for like 2 years, right?
Yeah,
to be fair,
but
okay,
here's the thing, though. To be real with it, though, it was clear when he lost the last Super Bowl the same way he lost the first Super Bowl. But look, Moody is a problem, and he's going to be on the team again next week because Kyle is just too damn stubborn. Okay. He's going to do the same shit stuff with CMC, run him into the ground because he's too damn stubborn. Like you said, he has a man crush or whatever it is. He grew up with the McCaffrey family. That's just dumb. So this team looks, to me, the fact that you could barely beat the Bucks, who don't have Godwin, who don't have Evans, who've got a mid quarterback with Baker. Yes, I know Baker has a lot of touchdowns, but still, it's pathetic, man. And the fact that you can't figure out ways to be effective in the red zone and you're this big genius purportedly, then, I mean, that's a problem. And you got all these weapons other than Ayuk. That's the only one you're missing. So what's the problem? You know, there's no creativity. There's nothing on this offense. It's the same bullshit that we've seen before. So I can't get happy for this win the way it came down anyway. And then our defense tried to give it up. I mean, like, how many penalties on the same damn drive did you commit? 2 of them being face mask penalties. What is going on? You know, but look, I don't want to take away from a win. We got the dub. But this, you can't realistically tell me, Niner fans, and I'm one of those damn fans. I spent thousands of dollars to go to the Super Bowl. Screw you, Jimmy G, as my wife would say, Jimmy Garbage. You can't tell me you're confident that this team is going to win a Super Bowl this year or even go far in the playoffs. You can't. You've seen us lose to the depleted Rams. You've seen us lose to the Cards. You've seen us lose, barely beat who? The Bucks just now. I mean, man, come on, man. You can't be confident after this. Moody's going to be back next week. I'm done.
GTC says, Law Nation, gonna love JP Mason. Man, I hope he doesn't go. Jordan Mason is going to be really good if he plays on another team. All right, gentlemen, this is where I'm going to be all week long, baby. Look at this house right here, man. Look, there's a hot tub right at the end, right there on the beach.
Nice.
Me and the wife are going to be chilling, so that means no show for us next week. No show for us next week. Sorry, gentlemen. I'd rather
Don't
be on the beach.
apologize.
So I'll be on tomorrow with Eric Crocker at 9 a.m. Then I'll be on with Grant at some point, and then I'll do the 4-man front Tuesday. Twin, what do you got going on in your show, bro?
Hey man, listen here. It's been a rough week. Despite us getting this W, man, I think we're just going to go over and talk about how we need to really understand that the NFC is looking a little down this year, man, and we are missing the opportunity once again while these guys aren't playing as good as what we think they were going to play like. So I just hope, man, we just talk about that. We can't miss again on this opportunity of this short window that we do have to use the talent and Kyle Shanahan experience to really elevate what's going on in the NFC West and go out there and take that number one spot, because we got to, man. It's about time. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys subscribe to Twin Empire. Dave Barkley says, I agree with Brother Bob wholeheartedly. Fire Lyle, we knew you would agree. We knew you would agree. I had 36 super chats this evening. I really appreciate that. Most of them are for $2, but you know what? That's okay. I really appreciate it anyways. It adds up. It adds up. You guys are awesome, man. I'm gonna be buying some shaved ice with that money
for sure
this coming week. You guys are the best. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. 49ers are gonna beat the hell out of Seattle. If you follow me, I might post like a shrimp truck video later on this week, something like that. Brother Bob, I appreciate you very much.
Real fast. Hey man, y'all give a happy birthday. Shout out to my twin girls, man, out there. Her birthday
nice.
Won't be on. But look, happy birthday to my babies out there, man. Y'all give a shout out to them if y'all know who it is.
Happy birthday, man. That's good.
How old are they?
Man, the same number of Super Bowl rings we got.
Oh wow. Wow.
Nice,
5 years old.
nice.
That's a great age. Happy birthday to the little twins. We appreciate you.
Twins.
Yeah, be good to your dad. Don't pull on his beard too much, because I know how the kids like to do that. They did it to me, my kids, when they were young. All right, you guys, appreciate you very much. We're out of here. Hit that like button, subscribe button. Thank everybody very much. You guys have a fantastic day. Underdog is available in 33 states. Deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Join the millions of fans who have won billions on Underdog. Use promo code Hensley. Link in the description. Underdog is the sponsor of the Ryan G. Hensley Show. Hensley Real Estate and Mortgage has been serving all of California since 2009. I would love to help you and your family. Whether you're buying, selling, financing, or refinancing, please reach out. I'd love to help. Visit RyanGHensley.com for more information. Thank you so much for watching the Ryan G. Hensley Show. Your support is greatly appreciated. Please visit RyanGHensley.com to learn more about me and all of my businesses. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Thanks again for watching.